Hi friends, welcome back to our channel Total QA. In today's video, we're going to discuss about a new topic that is most important Selenium interview question: how to validate the data stored in the dynamic HTML table. Okay, so now for that we take one real-time example. Let me copy this example and keep it in the new tab. So this example mainly helps us to validate the sort functionality is working as expected in a HTML table. So what happens if you see this table, there are two columns here and the data is stored in these two columns and there are multiple rows in this table. So when I click on sort function, mainly it is a function they called in the background, but what we have to do is when you click on sort button from the Selenium perspective, the data that is getting stored in the first column and the data that is stored in the table will be sorted successfully. Let me click on sort now. I clicked on sort. So what happened? The data is sorted. Now it is showing Alfred, then Berglunds, then Island. So you're getting the data that is getting sorted in this table. But from Selenium perspective, how do we validate this data that is getting stored is alphabetically sorted or lexicographically it is sorted? So let's get into the logic now. So for that, we have to write down the steps, the test steps, what we are going to perform. The steps are, first we access the browser, we enter the URL, then we click on the sort button, we perform the sort functionality, we retrieve the list from the HTML table. Once you click on the sort button, we will retrieve the list from the HTML table. Then we store the values of the list into an array. Then we compare the strings using the compare_to function in string class. Then we validate the results. So these are the steps we're going to perform in our logic. But before getting into our logic, one more important point we have to understand is what is the use of compare_to function in Java. This compare_to function is a method available in the string class which will help us to compare any two strings and returns an integer as an outcome. It means the two strings are equal. I compare one string with the same string. You get an integer value as 0. To take one string to another string which is lexicographically less than the string argument, we get the value is less than 0. Means, and a value is greater than 0, the string is lexicographically greater than the string argument. Let's see an example. I will write it down in the notepad before we get into the logic. Let me write down one example here. So let's take string s1 is equal to say Java. And let's put yes Java here. Then let's put another string as Selenium. String s2 equal to Selenium. And string s3 we keep again Java here. Let's see how this compare_to function will help us right now. If okay, let's see the integer. If s1 compare to s2 means s1 is Java now, s2 is Selenium, we get the result less than 0 because yes, the Java is lexicographically lesser than Selenium. If I compare s2 dot compare to of s1, the result is greater than 0. The result is greater than 0. The result is greater than 0. Less than 0 means you get -1. Greater than 0 means you get +1. You can get any number, but it is greater than 0. If I compare s1 dot compare to of s3, I get the result as equal to 0. So now if Java is lexicographically lesser than Selenium, the result is less than 0. If the Selenium is lexicographically greater than Java, we get result as greater than 0. If both are equal, both the strings are equal, Java is equal to Java again, the result is 0. So the same information what we discussed right now, we are going to use it in our example. We are going to write a logic now to validate the sort functionality is working as expected in the case of Selenium. Because when you try to do manual testing, suppose I'm doing a manual testing, I just click on sort. I know these elements are, these values in the table are sorted. But how do we write a logic so that it will validate this sort functionality now? Let's get into the program now. So I have written the program now, written 3 steps mainly. This will help us to launch the browser. The line number 10, then line number 11, which will help us, these 2 steps mainly 10 and 11 will help us to launch the browser. Then you have like step number 12, which will help us to launch the application. Now we have to click on the sort button, right? So let's write the logic now. So we will write the logic as click on sort button now, right? So let's try to go to the web page. Right click on the sort button, click on inspect here. Then we can identify the properties of the sort button. Let's select crow path here. Place the mouse over on the sort functionality again. Yes, we got the relative X path, which is button contains text as sort. Let me copy this. I open this, I write down the logic as driver dot. Let me write down the logic here. Find element by dot X path. I just give this X path here. Then I perform click operation on the button. So we are able to click on the sort button now. We need to fetch the list. To fetch the list now, let's understand the table information. Let me place a mouse over on the table, the name. Okay, so that it will be easy for us. Yes, we got the information of the table. So this is the table here. You can see here, the table has, let me highlight, the table is available here. The table has ID as my table. So this is one information which will be helpful for us to retrieve the data from the table. Now, let me scroll up to see the information of the table. Yes, table has different table rows. I think we can select the first table row, or we can get all the table rows on the table data of 1. Table row contains 2 columns, table data of 2 table data. Let's try to fetch the first table data in the table. We can write our own XPaths also, which is very easy here in this case, because mainly we have the table has an ID. The table has an ID. It's easy to write the XPath / table @ ID equal to my table. Yes, it has selected the table. You can check here. It has selected the table. The entire table is getting selected. / table body. We selected the table body and we selected table rows. All the table rows we selected. We got how many matching elements? We got totally 9 matching elements. But actually there are totally 8 rows only, because there is a table head is available. But we are selecting table row. Each and every table row, we are selecting the table data. So we get totally, see here, we're getting totally 16 elements matching, but we are focusing on the first table data only. We should get totally 8 matching elements. You can see the web page. The web page is also highlighting only the first column in the table row. In each and every row, the first column is getting selected with this XPath. Let's try to copy this XPath now. Go back to the program again. So write down the logic driver dot. In this case, right now we have to use driver dot find elements on by dot XPath. Provide the XPath information. Then the find elements method returns a list right now. List of web element here, and we can say td list. Right. So what are we trying to achieve now? We are trying to achieve, click on the sort button and fetch the list in the HTML table, row HTML table, column 1. So we know that we are fetching the data available in the column 1. Then we need to convert this list into an array. It will be easy because when you try to handle the arrays, it's also easy to understand the logic. So now I'm just converting this list into an array. First thing, before I convert it, I just take one array, string array, a new string. Here we put td list.size. It's always important whenever we create an array, we have to provide the size here. Without the size, we cannot create an array, right? That's the reason we go for array list, or we go for vector, we go for linked list, because we don't need to provide the size. But in this scenario where we know the size of the list, we know that td list.size will give the size of the list. Then we can store in an array, string array, and we can define the size here. Then let's write down the logic. Now for int I is equal to 0, I less than td list.size, what are we trying to do now? We are storing each and every value of the list in an array. Okay, how do we store it? Very simple, str array of I equal to td list dot get I dot get text. So we have a get text method available in the case of web elements. Whenever the web element contains a text, if you want to extract it, we have to use a get text function, and this data we are storing in an array. So what we have done now, click on the sort button, fetch the list from the HTML table, column 1, and store in an array. Now we are going to use a comparative function now. Why we are using a comparative function? If the string 2, when I compare with string 1, if they are lexicographically displayed, it is greater than 0. We'll use the same logic now. Whatever we discussed in the notepad, right now we use the same logic now. String comparative function we are going to use now. Let's start. So we are going to compare the strings now. Compare the strings. So let's write down 2 for loops. Why we need 2 for loops? Because we are trying to select the first one, compare the second one. So for that reason, we take for int I is equal to 0, I less than, here I am going to put str dot length I plus plus. I'm going to write nested for loop here for int j is equal to I plus 1, because we're comparing the first string with the second string here. Then j less than str array dot length, again j plus plus here. In the nested for loop, we have to write a conditional statement, that is if, okay, let's do one thing. Let's try to create one more variable, result, int result equal to, we can mention str array dot array of j. I think dot is not required because in the case of list it is required, but str array of j dot compare to str array of I. If I compare the j with I, we should get result as greater than 0. If result greater than 0, fine. It means they are lexicographically, alphabetically displayed in the HTML table. Yes, I can consider this. But what we have to do, if they are not displayed in the lexicographical order, then we have to say that the list is not sorted. So what we have to do, if result is greater than 0, means the result will be always greater than 0. When it will be false, if they're not greater than 0. For that reason, what we do is, if result not greater than 0, you go inside the result not greater than 0, then we print here. What do we print? The data in the table is not sorted, and we can print the values also for understanding what are those values which are causing data is not sorted. And you can take str array of I. and we break the for loop and say that yes, we are done, because if the data two values, any two values which are not sorted, doesn't require to check each and every value. If two values, any two values in the list, you take the first one and the second one, when you compare both of them, they're not matching, you simply break the nested for loop. But for breaking the nested for loop, we have to provide the label here, outer, say here, outer as a label, just put, otherwise it will not break the nested for loop, just put outer here. Else means what? The data is sorted. Data is sorted. You can just print it for our understanding. Yes. What are the two values? What are the two values which are sorted? We can provide here data in the table is sorted now. We can print the values here. So this is how you compare any two values using a compare to function in strings to validate the data is sorted. Now let's execute the program. Before I execute the program, I wanted to give the result as yes, the sort functionality is working as expected. Means we have to take in one more value, say that Boolean sort functionality, we put here false. Okay, or else we'll put true here. When this will be false, the data is not sorted, we will put the sort functionality as false. Finally, what I can do after completing this entire logic, here, the next step what I do is, if sort functionality, we can write down, if true, we can write down to println sort functionality is working, else sort functionality is not working. So this is how you validate, because if you are trying to implement TestNG in our test cases, as the test cases, we have to validate either true or false the result. The entire functionality we have to mark it as either true or false, so that we can validate using set.setTrue in the case of TestNG. But right now we have just written one Java program, so it's not, else it's not working. So if true, when it will be true, when it doesn't go inside, it will be true. If this goes inside, then it will go to the else part. The sort functionality is not working as expected. So this is how we write the logic. Let's try to execute the program and see whether this is working as expected or not. Click run as Java application. Now let's see. In the console, we have to observe the console. Yes, the Chrome driver was started successfully. It is launching the browser. Yes, the browser has been launched. And we can just scroll down. Yes, it clicked on sort button now. Can go back and see in the console. Yes, the sort functionality is working as expected. But let's see the console and understand what happened now. In the console, you can see the data in the table is sorted. So, yes, first we are printing data in the table is sorted. When I compare this one with this one, the result is greater than 0. So now you can see Island trading with Alfred. But one thing is happening here is, so when the data table is sorted, what we have to print here is one more important point we have to see here is, let's try to print one more point here. Right. So now when you compare J with I, yes, I think data is getting sorted and the result is always greater than 0. Okay, then it is going to else part, and in the else part we are printing the value of J and I. Yes, I think it is working as expected. Let me show the console again so that we can confirm it's working as expected. Show view console again. Yes, I think yes. Always the data is sorted. Okay, so with this, we can validate the result successfully. And I hope this video is really very helpful for you understanding this logic. If you like my video, please subscribe and share. Thanks for watching the video.